Hello friends, I am Chevee. Welcome to my shed. How are you doing today? How's life in your world? How's things where you are? I hope it's all great. You know, I've been thinking like how long is the wait going to be to get a haircut after this is all over? Like, is it going to be, are we going to have to be waiting like months? We're going to schedule in advance? I've been wearing a hat in the house, which I don't normally do, but I do normally wear a hat all day at work. So I've just been pretending like I'm at work. But it's just to keep my hair manageable. Yeah, regardless, this week I've been playing with some more woodcut. In case you're newish here, I've been over the last month, not this month, but last month, February, I started just kind of sharing artwork, and I went down kind of a path of showing some stuff in a style that's familiar to, well, not familiar, but in a woodcut style. And a woodcut style is kind of this old school look where the definition is the lines are a little bit goofy and there's some, you know, background noise. And this is because when you're carving a wood block, you're just cutting little, you're not going to be able to see that, but you're cutting little sections out with a tool, and those sections can get kind of printed on. So this was my first one. This was my first ever attempt at woodblock printing. From that print, I got 5 usable prints, what I would consider usable prints. They are all different qualities, so I wouldn't say this is an edition. They're just kind of prints. And I've been wanting to try again. So since that time, my friend Maui Chris, who's a friend of the show, sent me this set of tools. This doesn't come with it, but I made this set of tools from FlexCut that come with their own stropping block, so you can keep the tools nice and sharp. And these tools made all of the difference in my second printing, which I was able to print. And that's my second ever woodcut. This is the block. It's just a cup of coffee, and I did this one. Whereas the bird, I drew it, I scanned it, I outlined it darker in my computer, I printed it, and then I used that to transfer the image onto the block. With this one, I had no clue what I was going to carve when I came down here. I just came down here, grabbed a block of wood and a pencil, and started sketching, and this is what fell out of my head. And so I cut it. I got what I would consider to be 4 usable prints out of this block, and that's probably all I'm going to do because I'm just not happy with it. This is not what the block was originally supposed to look like. This is not what the print was originally supposed to look like. A lot of what you see where there's some you know, cuts across the border, that was because I slipped when I was cutting. I was cutting and I was slipping, and I don't like it. I don't like that at all. So I could try to maybe clean the block up a little bit and get rid of a lot of this noise down here, get rid of some of the noise in here, maybe make this bean a little bit smaller, that sort of thing. But in looking at it more, I'm not happy with the carving itself, so I'm just going to stop it, and I'm not going to make any more prints off this block. I got 4 prints. That's good enough for me. I'll hang one up and give the other 3 away to friends. And that's what I wanted to talk about. That was a very long introduction to the idea of, for me, second is always worse than first. And I've heard of people talk about the pancake, the first pancake, how you just kind of throw the first pancake away because it's the worst one. And for me, when it comes to anything that I do skill-based, my first one is always my best. For some reason, when I'm learning something new and I get excited about it and I really dig into the learning of it, even when I don't have the best of tools. I mean, I did my first print with these like $15 tools I got from the art store that required me to spend like an hour trying to get them sharp. They've already broken. You know, I did that with these tools. It turned out better. And I think the reason was I was more careful. I was more concerned about messing up. And so I took my time. Whereas when it came to block 2, this block and these new tools came ridiculously sharp. They do a great job of removing material. They're really easy to keep sharp with this special little honing block that came with them. And because of that, because of all of those factors, for some reason in my brain, when it comes to doing something the second time, I feel like, oh, I already know what I'm doing, and I get this undeserved confidence that makes me kind of plow through it. And what ends up happening is it's not good. It's not as good. And that's what happened here. And throughout my life, I've learned 1,000 skills, and I've done them twice, and when I screw up that second time, I'm just like, you know what, it's not for me. The good news is I don't feel that way about this. I feel like I've just started. I feel like I've got more things to try to print. I've got more carving ideas. I've got kind of a series idea in my head I would like to try if I can figure out a way to draw what I'm seeing. So I'm not done with woodblock printing by any stretch of the imagination. And I think that's a good thing because, like I just said, normally when I screw up the second time, I'm just kind of done with it. The lesson learned here, there's a couple lessons I learned here. In the first one, this set of tools came with this little flat knife, and I traced all of my lines on my block with this straight knife, and then I carved, and that made a world of difference when I did that raven. I did not do that with this block. With this block, I used this tiny little V-gouge and tried to trace my lines, and that led to, I slipped a lot. Part of the reason why the border of this print has these cuts going through it is because I slipped. And so I just said, well, I'll make it, symmetrical, and I'll slip on all four corners. And then when it came time to scoop out all of the extra, I used a tool, a larger gouge, and I ended up slipping quite a few times with it because I was trying to take take these big chunks out. And then when the tool comes up, I've got too much pressure behind the tool, and I just gouge my way across the art. So I've learned a lot of lessons from this, but I feel like my second attempt is always my worst. And I'm curious to know if that is true for you as well. Do you find yourself being overly confident too fast? I think that's one of my main flaws. I build up too much confidence too quickly, and then when it ultimately shatters and I realize that I don't have the skill that I think I have, I become kind of frustrated and just move on. I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. If you want one of these prints, let me know. I'll send it to you. I think I was asking you to send me like $5 to cover shipping. So just let me know some way. You can get me $5 and I'll send you a print of either one or both. I don't care. Let me know in the comments. Thank you for being here as always. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, being amazing friends and wonderful people. I really appreciate you, and I will see you tomorrow. The word today is anfractuous. It's an adjective meaning full of windings and intricacies like a good mystery novel. The novel's anfractuous plot worked on paper, but it became stupefyingly confusing, actually just plain stupid, on screen. Anfractuous, A-N-F-R-A-C-T-O-U-S.